Some 800,000 Northern Californians are in the dark as PG&E cuts power to reduce the risk of wildfires. Winds are expecting to pick up in our area, and that may translate to Orange County residents losing power.
It's a clash of the Titans in Game 5 of the MLB playoffs as two former Fullerton teammates go head-to-head for a spot in the NLCS. We'll have more in sports.
And Gemini Man opens this weekend at the box office. It's taken 20 years to get the story to the big screen. Can the Will Smith film top the smash hit Joker? Those stories and much more, OC News starts right now. And thank you for joining us on OC News. I'm Lauren Hernandez.
And I'm Alexia Aguayo. OC News is brought to you by the broadcast journalism students at Cal State Fullerton. Our top story today, thousands are in the dark in Northern California. The darkness is creating confusion as stores are closed. Intersections are without traffic lights and businesses had to let employees leave for the day because there was no power. We go to Mackenzie Quinn, who will help shed some light on the matter.
A deliberate power outage that is affecting millions in Northern California went into effect today in an attempt to avoid wildfires that can be sparked by windblown power lines. Months of dry weather and incoming strong winds put the state in alert to take precautions. The state's largest power utility, Pacific Gas Electric, said it would cut power to 500,000 customers soon after midnight. A second round of cuts affecting 2,500,000 more customers surrounding the San Francisco Bay Area was scheduled for noon, but has been delayed and is dependent on weather conditions. This move by PGE marks the largest power shutdown to date in order to avoid another fire disaster after being held responsible for the state's deadliest wildfire that killed 86 people last November in Paradise and the Wine Country fires in 2017. Based on latest forecasts, high winds are expected to last through mid-Thursday. The blackouts will affect 34 counties in Central and Northern California, leaving more than 2 million people in the dark. Many big box stores have run out of generators, batteries, and portable lamps in response to this outage, as well as gas stations having long lines. Southern California Edison also said they would be considering preventative power outages due to forecasted strong Santa Ana winds that could affect 173,000 customers in 8 Southern California counties. Even after winds subside, PGE reports it could take as long as 5 days to turn power back on, as technicians will need to inspect every inch of line before restoring the power. These outages forced closure of several schools across Northern California, including UC Berkeley, which canceled class after being notified power would be cut to 48 hours. Power outages might also affect Southern California, as strong winds are expected to blow into our area. Alexia Aguayo has more on the weather.
Thank you, Mackenzie. Yes, Northern California is currently suffering from power outages, but the same could happen for Southern California. The National Weather Service currently expects winds to be up to 70 miles per hour here in the mid-low Southern California as early as Thursday morning up till Friday. As you can see here tonight, we have winds gushing all over Southern California and parts of the middle United States. And if we go ahead into the next one into Thursday night, we can see winds still strong in Southern California. Southern California Edison is thinking of cutting power for almost 200,000 residents to contain wildfires in Southern California. Go ahead into the Friday morning. Friday is expected to cool down, but again, we have until Thursday morning to deal with all this wind, and Friday it will be expected to cool off. Now let's go ahead and look at the current temperature. Right outside is 71 degrees in Fullerton, but as you notice, the miles of wind, 12 miles per hour, it's going to go up during the night up until Thursday and slow down on Friday. Humidity 57 degrees, the low will be expected 56. Now let's go ahead and take a look at a 5-day forecast. As we know, we're in the high 80s right now, and it's going to stay like that for the rest of the weekend. As you can see, tomorrow 87 degrees, Friday 87. Sunday, we're actually going to stay at 79 degrees. It's going to cool down a little bit on Sunday, but Monday is back to 81, and that's how the weather is going to be like for the next week. We're going to stay in the high 80s, and the weather will continue to stay hot. That's all I have for you on weather, and stay cool out there.
Turkey has now begun their military offense in Syria, today just days after President Trump pulled U.S. troops out to the region. Civilians are now fleeing for their lives. The streets of Ras Al Ain full of cars carrying families desperate to leave the area. The Turkish President Erdogan announced the move on Twitter, saying, quote, "Our mission is to prevent the creation of a terror corridor across our southern border." In response, President Trump defended his decision to pull back U.S. military forces.
We're policing areas. We're doing jobs that other countries should be doing. We shouldn't be doing it. We're 7,000 miles away.
The removal of U.S. troops has been highly criticized since the Kurdish allies have been key in the fight against ISIS. The Syrian Democrat Forces announced it has suspended military operations against ISIS in order to focus on the Turkish offensive.
Nearly 20 tons of marijuana has been seized by officials after raids in Riverside County and Hemet County find 2 illegal growing sites. In a joint effort between Sheriff's Department and state officials, 9 search warrants were granted for the Anza area. 4 people face charges as a result. The first of many of these raids started on September 30th and will continue for quite some time. Deputy Mike Vasquez, a spokesman for the department, said, quote, "The Sheriff's Department is going to continue to locate and eradicate these illegal grows," end quote, continuing the raids in other unincorporated areas.
Coming up after the break, it's a clash of the Titans in Game 5 of the MLB playoffs as 2 former Fullerton teammates go head-to-head for a spot in the NLCS. We'll have more in sports.
Plus, coming up as well, we'll tell you what special day October has besides Halloween that will make people want to come out.
Take a look under your bed. Find stuff under there? What about jobs? No? Now try your closet. Still no jobs? Just more stuff? Well, you really have both. See, stuff is defined as household articles considered as a group. Sometimes this stuff is no longer needed. Wait, no longer needed? That can't be right. Because remember those jobs you were looking for? Those are really needed. And they're the stuff inside your stuff. Our job is to unlock those jobs. And it starts when you donate your stuff to your local Goodwill. Here's how we do it. When you donate to Goodwill, we sell your stuff to provide job training for people right here in your community. So just by teaming up with Goodwill, you help create jobs. And isn't that worth parting with the leftover keytar from your 80s cover band? Goodwill. Donate stuff, create jobs.
NHL fans will now have a new way to unleash their anger at games.
But first, a pair of winner-take-all games are playing back-to-back in the MLB playoffs. Jason Martinez has more in sports.
Thanks, Lauren. It looks like the Cardinals are about to advance to the NLCS, but on the other side of the bracket, the Dodgers will host the Nationals in Game 5 of the NLDS ladder tonight. 2 former Titans will clash for the final spot in the championship series. For more on this, we go live to Curtis Redmond at Goodwin Field.
Thanks, Jason. What's up, guys? I'm Curtis Redmond out here at Goodwin Field, home of Cal State Fullerton baseball. Tonight in the MLB, we have the Los Angeles Dodgers facing off against the Washington Nationals, each team with a former Titan on their roster. We have Cal State Fullerton alum Justin Turner for the Dodgers and Kurt Suzuki for the Nationals. And they both are mentioned at the Wall of Honor. They were both back-to-back All-Americans for the Titans. They were both teammates on the 2004 National Championship team. These 2 former teammates will face off tonight in a crucial Game 5, and only one Titan will be able to continue their trek to the World Series title. Back to you guys in the studio.
Thanks, Curtis. The Dodgers and Nationals play tonight at 5:37 p.m. The NBA is still in conflict with China after Houston Rockets general manager Daryl Morey posted a tweet that supporters the pro-Democrat protests in Hong Kong. Morey has since deleted the tweet, but backlash had already ensued. Chinese officials made the decision to prevent multiple broadcast stations to air the preseason games between the NBA and Chinese teams. In response to this, Morey tweeted a public apology, clarifying that his tweets do not represent the ideas and values of the NBA or the Houston Rockets, and that he didn't intend to upset anyone involved in that matter. For many sports fans, emotions are usually high because of this. The Wells Fargo Center, home of the NHL's Philadelphia Flyers, created the disassembly room. It's the first ever rage room inside a professional sports arena where fans can break anything they want inside to unleash any rage or frustration they may have. Participants wear protective gear and are armed with an array of weapons to vandalize anything in sight. The assembly room is open to the public as of today. That's it for sports. Lauren and Alexi, back to you.
Thanks, Jason. California Governor Gavin Newsom signed a new law on Tuesday that caps rent increased at 5% plus inflation for the next 10 years. For the first time, millions of residents will be protected from large rent increase and losing their homes if they are reliable tenants. Landlords will be prevented from evicting people without just cause. California joins Oregon as the only state that places rent caps. Increases, Oregon capped rents at 7% plus inflation earlier this year. The law will take effect on January 1st, 2020, and would apply to rent increase on or after March 15th, 2019.
October is known for being the month of dedicated to spooky things, but did you know it also has a day dedicated to coming out? Our reporter Giselle Martinez has more on that.
The rainbow flag now flies proudly in front of the Cal State Fullerton campus. Many watched in a ceremony meant to celebrate the flag raising and a day dedicated to coming out. October 11th is National Coming Out Day, and CSUF is celebrating with its first ever National Coming Out Week. A week, which used to be a day in the school's past, that's dedicated to bringing more visibility to the LGBTQ community. Monday marked the start of National Coming Out Week with the rainbow flag raising ceremony. The LGBT Queer Resource Center hosted the event, bringing in guest speakers to speak about their own emotional experiences. Nat Benencourt, the coordinator of the LGBT Queer Resource Center, was one of those folks who shared their experiences at the ceremony.
I had always spent my time kind of daydreaming of what it would be like to be a boy, because that's what I had always wanted to be, or at least in my mind, that's what I wanted to be. And so I had grown up in a very faith-based home, and so things like that were not allowed. That was not okay. So I got all these messages all my life saying that it's not okay to be queer or LGBT or anything like that.
The LGBT Queer Resource Center played a central role in planning for CSUF's National Coming Out Week. Albert Strong, a grad student assistant of the LGBT Queer Resource Center, explains the benefits of the center for students in the community that last way beyond CSUF's National Coming Out Week.
We have a lot of different programs, so all about LGBTQ history, activism, politics. So it's a great place not only to learn, but also to just hang out and chill too.
National Coming Out Day is meant to honor the strength and courage within the LGBTQ community. CSUF's Coming Out Week is meant to show students that there are resources on campus and that they are not alone in their journey. I'm Giselle Martinez, reporting for OC News.
Thank you, Giselle. Our campus will sure be looking brighter with that new flag.
The 2020 census are approaching, and you might be asking yourself, what exactly are the census? The census count every person living in the United States. This provides the critical data that lawmakers, business owners, teachers, and many others use to provide daily services, products, and support for you and your community. Every year, billions of dollars in federal funding go to the hospitals, fire departments, schools, roads, and other resources based on the census data. To be sure the government represents the people in the U.S. Constitution requires a population count. This head count happens every 10 years, ever since 1790. The census determined the number of seats each state receives in the U.S. House of Representatives. It is always has been a cornerstone of our democracy. Starting March 2020, you will be able to conduct this survey by phone, online, or by mail. Make sure to go to census.gov for more information.
Find out which celebrity went on their most recent Twitter rant. Do you know which one, Lauren?
I have no idea.
We'll find out more after the break.
Your son wants to get a cat,
I'll really take care of it.
but you're allergic. Do you A, prepare yourself, B, make the best of it,
C squared equals
25.
Good job.
or C, find a loophole? When it comes to parenting, there are no perfect answers, but that's okay, because you don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. Teens in foster care will love you just the same.
My mother was always very familiar with her neighborhood, but one day she stopped at the stop sign for much longer than usual, and she didn't know whether she should go forward or turn, and she wasn't even really sure where she was at. It was very unsettling for her.
I felt so much better after my son told me, "Mom, I don't want you to worry or be afraid. I'll be there for you and we'll figure it out."
Turning now to entertainment news. Will Smith stars in a new movie that spent 20 years in development. But first, our entertainment reporter, Amber Irwin, starts with news about Miley Cyrus. Amber?
Hey guys, this week in entertainment, we've got all your favorite celebrities making the headlines. So let's check out just what they've been up to. First up, Miley Cyrus has been telling it like it is this week as she's been taking the time on Twitter to address her new and improved lifestyle with new bae Cody Simpson, and she's making no apologies for their recent public displays of affection. First, in a two-part tweet, Miley says, quote, "I know the public feels invested in my past relationship because they feel like they saw it from the beginning, but I'm grown now and make choices as an adult knowing the reality. People only know what they see on the internet." The second part wraps with Miley quoting, "Don't effing pity me, not what I'm asking for. I have a great life, I wouldn't trade for privacy, but please don't make this awkward for me. Get used to me dating, this is where I'm at." So are we gonna let this hot girl live or does she get the scarlet letter? I'll let you guys decide. Up next, Rihanna is getting risque in her new book. That's right, the singer and entrepreneur announced she'll be releasing what she calls a visual autobiography. The Rihanna book will be a 500-page volume, the artist's first work of art that has been in the making for over 5 years. With over 1,000 photos, many of which have never been published before, the book is already up for pre-order and it'll be available October 24th. Looks like the Rihanna Navy is gonna have to start saving up that money because its list price is at $150. And what will you be watching in theaters this weekend?
25 years ago, your father took my blood and he cloned me. He made you from me.
Gemini Man, the action thriller starring Will Smith, will be out tomorrow, October 11th, in theaters. But Gemini Man is going to have some stiff competition because the Joker is predicted to win the box office the second week in a row after it set an October record for an opening weekend debut at $93.5 million. So if you're going to see the Joker or Gemini Man this weekend, you can save some money with ASI for some discounted theater tickets. And that's all I've got for you this week in entertainment. Now I'll take it back to you guys.
Thank you, Amber. Former President George H.W. Bush's service dog, Sully, will receive a 2019 ASPCA Humane Award. This award is given to an animal or officer who has demonstrated a commitment to his or her career. The sweet yellow lab served as Bush's service dog from June 2018 until his death in November 2018. He did not only bring assistance to the former president, he was said to have brought tons of love and joy. Since the former president's death, Sully has worked at Walter Reed National Medical Center as a faculty dog where he assists injured veterans and their families.
Congratulations on earning the Public Service Award, Sully.
And thank you for your service as well. That is all we have for you today. Thank you for joining us.
Make sure to follow us on all our social media at OC News, CSUF. I'm Lauren Hernandez.
And I'm Alexia Guile. See you guys next time.